All right guys, this is our squat video. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you an overview of everything you need to know about the squat, including safety and setting up and everything surrounding how you're going to get through your squat in your session.
So first off with setup guys, first and foremost we make sure we have the safety bars up. These are integral when we're getting into bigger lifts because you can have a spotter there, but if you're hitting heavy weights, the spotter's not going to do much. The safety bars are what's going to do the work there. And if you did end up failing a rep, it is making sure you're sitting down and getting away from the bar for it to land on these safety rails. So that's super important. Now, height-wise of the bar, we're going to make sure when we set you up in lanes that we do try to navigate heights on squat day, but you want the bar around your collarbone height, roughly, okay? That's gonna help make sure that you can get it off and rack it comfortably for your height there. Setup wise, they're probably the main things in regard to the rack.
Yeah, that's probably setting up. Now, Sal's touched on it before. We are going to talk about spotting. I will go over one spotting technique today. There is an alternative as well. That's something we'll teach you in the class when we go, and spotting is important. However, I just want to touch on this. Spotting is there as a safety, and these are the ultimate safety here. They'll catch the bar. When we're doing the strength block, the idea is actually to try and not fail, which we're going to talk about how we go through the strength block. We want lots of repetitions without actually hitting fail point very often. There's times where we may hit regression and we'll look at tailing that back. But unlike our normal classes where we're really pushing for that burn and that fatigue, we don't want to hit fail points. So we've got to remember to be conservative when we're starting, but we'll cover more of that when we get into it. Now, with our squat, we do this a lot, but we're going to just step it through all the way from the start. So sorry for those that are quite comfortable with it, you're going to suck eggs a little bit here. But when we're coming into the barbell here, we often say we want your hands as close to the outside of your shoulders as your flexibility will allow. Now, all that means is we need our hands on the outside of the shoulder so that we're not getting our hands in the way when we're trying to get the barbell onto our back. We want our hands even on the bar, so Shel's lining that up with the knurling here. From here, she steps in underneath the bar. She's getting set up so that it's on her traps here. Now, not too low, we don't want to low bar it, we want to high bar it still, but she's comfortable here. And she's winding her elbows back. Now, this is what activates the upper back and gives a solid shelf for her to sit on. From down here, she's not in an exact squat stance, but she's got her feet in a position where it's a strong position to drive out with her back set. We're not stepping in with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. We want to feel tight getting that out. Now from here, with our squat, we're getting into what our squat stance is. Now, that is different for everybody. You've got different lever lengths. Femur length is going to make your squat look different at the bottom. Back angle is different depending on ankle, knee, hip flexibility. There's so many factors that come into your squat. What we want to see is the range of motion. I mentioned it in the warming up. From how you warm up, you should be able to squat your working weights to the same depth. Depth shouldn't change. Now, if your flexibility at this stage doesn't allow you to go hips below knees, that's okay. We're going to work to whatever your range is, but it needs to stay the same. So from here, for Sel's squat setup, which she knows her squat quite well, so I'm not going to tell her to adjust it. Her feet are about shoulder width apart. She has her toes just slightly out here. From here, she's going to brace. So that's a big breath into her stomach, not into her chest. It's not extremely pushing your stomach out, but it's bracing tight. You're pushing pressure into this area here. This is where we want to stay tight, keeping her elbows wound back. She's going to hold her breath. We're at the working weight for her here, so it's a big breath in, hold her breath. Her squat, you've seen the warm-up video, all the way down, hit that range, drive back up. Now at the top, you can breathe out, but we get set again and we go again. Keep the elbows wound back here, good. So we're looking at femur here, so you see she tries to rotate that out. The knees don't track in on the way down or the way back up here. She gets to the top, big breath in, braces, controls, drives all the way down, all the way up. All right, you can rack that. When we're racking it, walks in aggressively and hits the bar. Okay, so she hits into the rack here and slides it down. Don't be gentle. Don't walk into the bar. Do you want to give a demonstration of trying to hook one in and then the other one in? Yeah, so this can work, but when you're fatigued and you've just done a working set, people try and just gently hook one in here and then maybe get this one, and sometimes this one misses. We don't be gentle. This equipment is designed for you to work hard, put it in there and rack it. All right, so that pretty much comes off in the squat. Is there any cues that you want to add to that?
A Oh, look, I think it's really important for you guys to remember that not everyone's squat is going to look the same. Benny mentioned ankle mobility, knee mobility, femur length. All of those variations do make people's squat look different. Remembering that your range from the warm-up should be consistent is definitely key, and we will support you. I know also remembering that breathing and bracing is something we really focus on through the strength block. So actually making sure we're staying tight through our core, making sure our pelvis is set and that we're not overextending there, keeping those things in mind throughout our squat and making sure we're improving as we go. If you're not ready to add weight to the bar yet because you notice you're not feeling as strong in that position, this is the time to hone in and to perfect that.
Absolutely. So there is absolutely no pressure to be adding weight to the bar. This strength block is designed to get you confident underneath heavy barbells in different movement patterns. And part of that is confidence, but feeling strong underneath the barbell. So we will definitely adjust how we progress you through this strength block, but it is the best time to develop those skills of any other time of the year here. Shell mentioned it just before, and I've just gone totally blank that I was going to add into...
Well, he thinks
yeah, so sorry, the breathing. So you'll notice that Shell spoke about bracing. When I mentioned before, she came up, took a breath out, got set, you essentially are turning your set of 5 into 5 individual repetitions with the bracing. Very, very important on a squat that you reset each time at the top. We don't want to try and hold our breath for 5 continuous reps because you may have a little nap and then the safety bars are going to catch your barbell on the way down. That's not something we do on a squat. We'll talk about the other lifts and they do vary a little bit, but for a squat, we want to make sure we exhale at the top, big breath in, brace, get set, then go. On that, what tends to happen is, I just want to go through the bracing again because this is super, super important. There is a pause from where you feel like you are set to when you start your repetition. So a lot of the time what I've noticed, coaching thousands of people over the years, is I'll say big breath in, they go, and they're going down before they've actually finished bracing. Part of bracing is feeling tight and strong. So when Shell walks in here, she's going to get the barbell off. You brace here. Now when this is heavy, you're bracing already. So I'm winding this up. I want it to feel light getting off the rack because if it feels heavy, mentally it's hard for my set already. From here, big breath in, brace, pause. Now she goes into a repetition, drives back up. All right, so she relaxes a little bit, takes a breath, big breath in, right? Gets set, pushes out, pause, drives into her next repetition. Don't rush the bracing into the rep because then you're going to rip yourself off some of that bracing. All right, so, and I mentioned it just then too. When we are lifting, particularly any lift, but for squatting, when it's your time to lift, as much as a social time in the gym, and you're gonna have a chat when you're resting and things like that, you need to switch on, okay? So you can have a chat, there is rest time. I'll be trying to focus on mind muscle, like I get visualization, I visualize a bar moving well, the position I'm gonna hit. But when I walk in, I'm not talking to somebody, I'm not walking in and getting my hand set like, oh yeah, that's a good one, and laughing and getting under the barbell because there's no way I'm switched on when you're at a working weight. So it is a matter of coming in here, feeling tight. You can do some things where you got your hand set, like I stamp my feet, so it's just sort of firing up my body. I grab the barbell, grab it tight, because when I get under, I do want it to feel light. I want to be aggressive. I want to get it off there in a strong position so that I feel strong when I'm about to squat. It may sound silly to people that haven't done it before. When we start progressing through this strength block, if you don't do that, you will struggle to get through your repetitions. So it is something, this is a skill. This strength block is not just about strength, it's skill training. We're training efficiency with our body and movement patterns. Right, so that's a big part of it, the mind-muscle connection.
And we're going to share this with everyone participating in the strength block. If there are any specific questions you have as well, make sure you ask them because we will answer them to the group. If you have them, someone else probably has them too.
Yep.
Yep.
All
cool.
Good.